Okay, thank you. And is there any questions from the press?
Thank you. Okay, so my...
Can we expect that soon?
Well, I look after a good screenplay, and I will certainly, I'm interested in good screenplays. So if there is a character I'm attached and I'm passionate about, I would certainly come to, I would even learn some words, because I learned some Bengali for this film. Was important for us which aspects of Mother Teresa we wanted to express. To prepare this role, of course, it has taken me a lot of courage, and I needed some work to do, but I loved this journey because it was very interesting and compelling. I was working with the sisters in Calcutta at the Shishu Bhavan, the children hospice, where they have the abandoned and multiple handicapped children. I was in a monastery in the center of Switzerland to find out what it means for a nun to be related with Jesus Christ on the cross, in the suffering. I, of course, read all these letters, which were published in 2007, which were so sad. I was really very, very touched to read these letters, and I saw how vulnerable this woman was, and how emotional as well, even if she was so strong and tough in public. So this gave us all these different angles and colors of the character. I also learned Bengali, as I said, and I learned some accent, some Albanian accent. I went to Skopje to meet her family. That was very important to me, to get to know more about her childhood, about her youth. And of course, you dive in all these emotions, in all these energies. I used to do message acting, so this was a great part of it.
It was explained before. The idea came from Jacqueline to make a film about Mother Teresa, and I'm not sure what you mean by controversial. Maybe you have something in mind. I mean, it depends on where we go, which part of India, which part of the world, because in some places it's not controversial, but you know, it's always difficult to go with some theories of conspiration that go around famous people like Mother Teresa. However, the interesting aspect for us was to talk about, not about the woman that everybody knows or imagine, but to talk about the real woman behind the image of the saint, behind the image of the holy person, because as you may probably have noticed by now, everybody is human, including celebrities, including famous people. And today it's not very interesting, I think, because we are not wanting to see a biopic that claims the glory of people. We are interested to see real people with real emotion. We want to understand what drives a person to do what this person does. So it's not a superhero, a superheroine movie, but it is in the same time, because the women in this film, they are very brave, they are very strong, they have a lot of difficulties, and it touches every woman, I would say every person that has a problem, but specifically in this film, women as well. And that's how, you know, to better understand how Mother Teresa was in a crisis of faith, was in a feeling of abandonment. It was easier for me to write a story of Kavita, which is a contemporary story of a young British woman today. And this is another superheroine, which looks like everybody, in the sense that she's not like having a cape and doesn't fly in the sky, but she could almost. But in that way, she is representing the woman today, and bring you know, a different side to a superheroine. But maybe I can pass the mic to Kavita and maybe ask her how she think, you know, how do you think your character relates to woman or young woman today? In what way or perspective would you say?
Thank you for your question, Kamal. I would say Kavita relates to the young woman today in the sense that she's very young, so she's still discovering herself. She's still learning. Young women in this generation find that because there are so many pressures from different aspects of our lives. And I think most of all, the pressure comes from ourselves almost to be everything, to be the best versions of ourselves. And that sometimes can be debilitating. So we find her quite lost at the beginning and quite, I would say quite weak also. And due course of the movie, she starts to discover herself. She starts to discover herself through the work of Mother Teresa. And by the end of the movie, I shouldn't ruin it actually. Watch the film, you'll find out. Honestly, my mother taught me that if you ever do something for someone, that you should never really hold it against them or remember. So most of the good things I've done, I honestly let go, and it just makes me feel good knowing I've done something good, so I don't tend to remember. That makes me sound like I'm a really bad person and I've never done anything good, but it's just something that I don't hold a lot of thought to. It's more the act of doing it that I enjoy the most. Sorry.
Thank you.
Have you faced any challenging day while working in this project?
What was challenging?
There were definitely some challenging moments. I think creatively, there's one scene in particular in this movie, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone, where it took a lot of energy for me to be able to reach that point. We worked in it with Kamal a lot in rehearsals. For that, it took a lot of mental preparation, and by the end of the day, I was absolutely exhausted and I had lost my voice. So I think that was a challenging day for me.
And that was a good day, and that was a very good performance. Thank you.
And what about you? Is there any challenging day you made them to act in those roles? Have you faced any challenging thing?
Well, in terms of acting, I think I was very blessed and very pleased, and so everything was very fine. I mean, we had, I was more like trying to tell them through the fog, there is the other side, go this direction, but they were doing the work. So I think it was, with that aspect, not very challenging. What is challenging when you make a movie is always, from the moment you write something, and if you have an emotion, how do you do to get it through all these complicated processes in the end, so the emotion in the audience is to be seen, There's many ways and many chances that you have, that you lose it. So the difficulty is a little bit all the time, every day, you have to concentrate, and in the same time, you have to create a space, like for the actors especially, where it's a playful ground where you can, create what you're doing.
Sir, is it Oscar-winning movie?
Sorry?
What do you say?
Is it an Oscar-winning movie?
Oh, that is a good question. Yeah. Do you want me to answer? Yeah, it should won about several Oscars, I think. Yes.
Hum RRR nahi hai.
And you're watching Lovely TV.
మీ అందరూ లవ్లీ టీమ్కి లవ్లీ ఛానల్కి సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి, వీడియోస్కి లైక్ చేయండి, ఇంకా షేర్ చేయండి.
Please subscribe, like and share. Thank you.
ఈ వీడియో మీకు నచ్చినట్టయితే లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి, కమెంట్ చేయండి, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి.